had you met somebody who did this as a living, or did you know of people who did this as a living? When did you realize that this is something that could be attainable?
I sort of knew quite a few illustrators, especially bird illustrators, because working on bird books for Christopher Helm with those titles that then became part of ANC Black and then became part of Bloomsbury, of all people. I knew loads of bird illustrators, so they submitted work. I talked to a lot of them, and in fact, you sort of say, "Oh, there's this job going here or that job going there," but I think after Sea Life, I was still trying to find more work that there was out there, and I was put in contact via another bird artist. Well, I'm not a bird artist, but a bird artist called Dave Nerney. He said, "Oh, I've been approached by these publishers to do this work, and I don't work on digital work, and they want some digital work done." And I contacted them, and then that's how I really started doing all the digital work that I do now. Was because I've always been because I've not been absolutely formally trained as an illustrator. I always have used different mediums all the time. So I do gouache, I do watercolor, I do pen and ink, I do pencil, and oil paintings. And so when this came along to do digital, I thought, yeah, I use computers all the time. Let's have a go. And it just blossomed out. That's how I ended up with the new style of work that I now do, which is used in the field guides a lot. And that was the next break on from there, because then that was really looking to the bigger book of Sharks of the World to do that style and all the field guides and Ghost Sharks, which is what we're going to go on to next.
For people who are interested in this type of career, is it mostly you have your own business and you make connections, just like you made with Christopher Helm and just like you made with Sarah? You start to get introduced to people as you work. It's almost like a referral kind of business. Is that sort of how you set up your business? Sort of here's my business. I do illustrate, like wildlife illustration. This is what the services that I offer and so forth. And then it's just connections through other people and so forth. Is that how it works?
I think that really works now, especially because, with all things like Facebook and whatever, you can have your own Facebook page, Instagram, you can put your work out there. I think a lot of people do set themselves out and they do, offer work for small little organizations so they can start to showcase their work. And I think that's the way the majority of the things happen now. In the early days, it was like that, but it was a little bit more difficult. You can post it everywhere now. You can get your artwork out there all the time. The trouble with that also is you're competing with loads of people around the world. There wasn't such a massive competition when I was there. There was probably people out there, but they didn't have the opportunity to get all their work out there. So in one way it's easier, and in another way it's a lot more difficult.